It's really important that you all start to think about early and often, how are you going to get to the finish line and what do you need to get there? And a lot of times you're going to have to start building out, mapping things out sooner rather than later. This is one of the hidden secrets and gems in order to sometimes securing opportunities is having informal interviews. And what this means is that you're going to go out and actually reach out to a person in the industry that you're trying to apply to and work with and actually figure out, hey, how can I get to where you are? The new year brings on all sorts of reflection. And one of the things that I've been reflecting on is that I do these videos at Done Dissertation so that you can finish your dissertation, one, but then two, I want you to get to a point where you're asking the question, what do I do with this degree, Dr. Goins? Because I'm done and I'm crossing the finish line. Because of that, I want you to recognize that for many doctoral students, this often comes with much anxiety because sometimes you haven't realized it that you need to start mapping out what you wanted to do with this degree after. And sometimes by the time you finish, it's a little bit too late. And so, what I wanted to do today on this episode of From AB to the PhD show is to talk about how to map out your postdoc career plans. Because I think a lot of times we're waiting much too late to start putting our plan together. And on this episode, I want to give you a strategy on how to think through and create your plan. For those of you who don't know, my name is Dr. Ramon Goings. I'm founder of Done Dissertation and host of From AB to the PhD show. Our goal is to help doctoral students write and defend their dissertation in record time. If you're a doctoral student in need of support and you want the insights in order to finish quickly, you can learn more about what we do by going to www.velocitydissertation.com, or you can scan the QR code that is here on your screen. Because in our Velocity Coaching Program, we want to give you all the insights you need, the strategy, the accountability, and the guidance to finish your dissertation. And so don't let you being stuck sitting in ABD be the reason why you don't finish. So make sure that you learn more about what we do at velocitydissertation.com. Now, on this episode, because we're going to talk about, kind of postdoc career plans, it's important to figure out kind of what you want to do. And because most times we see kind of a divide where some people want to go kind of the academic route, maybe you want to go faculty, maybe you're already in a staff role, you want to go into more a high level administrator role, kind of like the higher ed route. And then sometimes you want to leverage your doctorate in your current industry that you're already working in and just move your way up. Whatever that is fine. But when we think about this, one of the things I want you to consider is that you have to recognize that, and what I would describe as there being two different timelines going on, and you want to just make sure that you know exactly what timeline you need to be thinking through in order to get the position that you want. And so for my folks, if you're a person who is looking to go the faculty route, you're probably recognizing that there is a cadence, if you will, in terms of how the positions work. So typically, if you're looking to go the faculty route, the positions will come open because usually budgets in June 30th. So July is kind of quiet. And then usually positions will start popping up early August, through kind of October, November. And then it'll be a quiet time, December, January. And then you might see a couple of positions come open sometimes in February and March when they find out, someone's going on sabbatical or something like that, a position needs to be filled. But knowing this, you have to recognize, does that timeline fit to where you are in your process? Just for example, when I was writing my dissertation, I actually had to apply for my first faculty position while I still was finishing up my dissertation. And like even in my cover letter, I wrote that, hey, I'm currently finishing up my doctoral program. My plan is to, at that point, I had a defense date. My plan is to defend. Again, I was applying in August, and I said I'm planning to defend in October. And so like I had to write about that. I wasn't quite done yet, but I was just about finished. And so for some of you all, it's going to be important to figure out what that timeline looks like. I have a number of clients and some clients who have gotten positions where they have just barely defended their dissertation proposal and already be able to transition into a faculty role the following academic year. But just know, let's say, for instance, you're applying for a job, say the application becomes available, let's say September of 2026. Just know that when you're applying, you're going to go through that process, search committee review. There are a number of steps in the faculty position. So you probably, if you were a selected candidate, you probably wouldn't get your offer at the earliest, I would say December. I would say at the latest, probably February, March. But just know that that position, when you get hired, is for the following year. So that wouldn't start till 2027. And so just recognize that there is always a lag on the faculty positions. Sometimes staff works in administrators work a little bit different, but even those sometimes are on an academic year cadence, especially if you're going to like dean level positions, they're going to be on an academic year where you might start July 1 of the following year when you apply. So you have to kind of consider that. Does that fit in your timeline? Start mapping that out. But if you're someone who's going the more industry route, you have to recognize too, do you have the things that you need in place for that timeline? A lot of times the industry operates on, hey, I need a position filled, we're hiring right now. And so like that looks very different. And so you just want to be mindful of that. And you want to make sure you have all your materials together for both types of roles so that you can apply widely when you see opportunities that align with where you want to go. But a lot of us wait to the end when we're done to start figuring this stuff out. But actually, you should be thinking about this now as you're a student, even finishing up like during your last year. Especially if you're writing your dissertation right now and you're listening to this, you should be thinking about this if you don't know quite yet what you want to do, especially if you're trying to make a move. If you're trying to stay where you are, that's cool. You can kind of take a step back on it. But if you're looking to make a move post finishing up, you got to think about your timeline immediately. Then from there, once you have figured out what your timeline looks like, I want you to master the informal interview. This is one of the hidden secrets and gems in order to sometimes securing opportunities is having informal interviews. And what this means is that you're going to go out and actually reach out to a person in the industry that you're trying to apply to and work with and actually figure out, hey, how can I get to where you are? I would tell you, I've had so many opportunities in my career where these informal interviews have really helped me flush things out. It's phenomenal. But what I will say, one caveat that I will give you is that a lot of times in the informal interview, you will, when you're requesting them, you will hear a lot of no's. It's because people are busy, and especially if someone doesn't know you and it's cold, you very likely could get a no or a non-response. I've seen that happen, and sometimes now I empathize with those folks because now I'm at a point in my career where I get a lot of those types of emails, and it's hard to respond to them all. Like I just don't have enough time. If you can see my inbox in terms of the number of these requests that I get, but it's just why I do a lot of this show because they give you all the insights that if we had an informal conversation, I would provide to you anyway. But this is why it's so important to reach out, because I would make the argument that if you do 100 reach outs to folks in the industry that you're trying to get into, I would be surprised if you could not get at least 10, if not 20 yeses to sit down and have a 15-minute chat with you. That allows you to build up your network and to get insights about positions and opportunities. Like for me, I had an opportunity when I was a doc student, when I was finding a new research area in my dissertation that I didn't think about when I wrote my proposal, but came out at my data collection. I went to the top researchers in adult education to ask them, who were writing about Black students at the time, hey, this is what I found about Black male adult learners. What are your thoughts? And someone like, man, you're on to something. Keep writing about it. One in particular, she sent me a book that they had written about Black male adult learners, but it wasn't directly, tied to college. That was so helpful for my career that this person actually sent me a book that was, actually helped me do my work. But it was because I was willing to reach out. But for all those 4, 5, 6, 7 yeses, I got about 15, 20 no's as well. It's just a part of the process. So don't take it personally, even though it feels bad at times. And you're wondering, like, what's wrong with them? Why don't they reach out to me? But it's just sometimes it's just the flow of things. We've got life going on. We just have to be able to recognize what's happening in this process and just know not everyone you'll be able to get a hold of. If you're finding value from this so far, make sure you hit the subscribe button now if you're watching this on YouTube and a notification bell. We found by looking at our data, only 15 or 14%, 14% of viewers of any of our dissertation videos are subscribed to the page and to the channel. So if you would subscribe to the channel, that would mean the world to us. And at the time of this recording, we are about 75 subscribers short of 2,000. So please help us by hitting the subscribe button and notification bell in order to get more content from us in the future. Now, once you have recognized that you are going to, think through, what the timelines look like, you're going to have your informal interview. Then what you're going to recognize and do is that you're going to engage with what I would call the translator project. And what that entails is actually you figuring out and you being able to take that CV that you've been developing and probably your faculty members have had you working on and trying to figure out, is that you actually want to start figuring out, how do I take those skills and everything that I have my CV and translate it over to a resume, and then be able to talk about the skills that I have as a doctoral student and talk about that, how it's tailored to a particular industry position. This skill is so important because I would make an argument that all the stuff that you are doing in your doctoral program is completely transferable over into, a post, doc career that's outside of higher education. Because just to give you an example, the fact that you were able to complete your dissertation, what that can show is that you have extreme and really good project management skills. The dissertation is nothing more than a large scale project. And the fact that you could take a project like a dissertation to fruition is actually a skill that's transferable, and industries are hiring project managers all the time. You have that skill set already. Another skill that you already have is the ability to analyze quantitative and qualitative data to some extent, whatever your abilities are and skill set within that. On the industry side, you could be able to explain that I have the ability to synthesize complex information. That is a skill set that industries are looking for all the time, but you have to be able to communicate that idea to that industry in a way that makes sense for the industry. Another one I'll give you is the idea of, like, if you're a graduate assistant and part of your GA responsibilities were to be a teaching assistant with a professor, like the fact that you can teach, you can do training and development. Like, you have that skill set. I would say of all the skills, and you have public speaking skills. I would say of all the skills that if I were one that to focus on to get me any type of role, would be my ability to be able to train and develop people, and then also the ability to public speak. Those two skills are transferable across any industry, and you always can find a position if you're able to articulate your skill set. That the public speaking piece is so important. And a lot of academics, what the challenge for many of them is the ability to communicate their research to a wider audience. It's because they don't practice and the ability to do so. We kind of talk in these silos, but how do you take that information and to distill it to an audience? That is a skill set. Your ability to teach complex information, that takes it up a level. Not only can you synthesize complex information, but then you can distill it for wide audiences. I have folks that work with us and are some of our past clients at done dissertation who write policy briefs for folks, but they're able to take all the research and distill into 2-page briefs. That is a skill set, and that's a skill set that people pay for. And so don't think you don't already have the skill set. And if you want to learn more about this type of thing, I would recommend a book, and I have it here on the screen, called Navigating the Pivot by Dr. Gertrude Nantra. And this particular book, and the subtitle is A Handbook for PhDs and Academics Looking to Thrive in Careers Beyond the Ivory Tower. I think this particular book will be really helpful for you as you think about these kind of career insights and how to finish up. And if you want to learn more about Dr. Nantra, I actually interviewed her on a previous episode of Office Hours, where we interviewed kind of folks with their doctorates about their journeys. And so you can go in the playlist on YouTube and find that interview as well to learn more about Dr. Nantra and her trajectory. But this is really important that you all start thinking about this, right? And particularly this idea, which she has in the book called The Pivot Framework. And this is something that she did with our Velocity clients during one of our professional development sessions. And it's really important that you all start to think about early and often, how are you going to get to the finish line and what do you need to get there? And a lot of times you're going to have to start building out, mapping things out sooner rather than later. And just to recap from today, first thing first, you're going to make sure that you understand the different timelines for faculty, staff, administrative positions in higher ed, and the timelines that work very fast for industry-related positions. Then you're going to recognize that you're going to have to master the informal interview. This is going to provide you opportunities to learn about industries, to get contacts, and just to build your network. And then lastly, you're going to engage in the translator project, where you're going to actually be able to distill your information from your CV into a resume, and just think about how do the skills that you have learned and apply in your doctoral program, how do they transition over into other types of positions? Again, this is one of the greatest skill sets that you can have if you're able to communicate how your skills are transferable. Now, if you're at a point where you say, look, this is cool, but I need help finishing my dissertation, that's perfect. What I would recommend you do is that you learn more about what we do to help you get to the finish line. We have a Velocity coaching program where we do professional development to help you get not only your dissertation done, but also prepare you for life after. That's why I had Dr. Nantra come in to talk to our clients. This is so important. It's something that we don't consider until it's too late. And I want you all to make sure that you're getting your dissertation done and getting the support you need to think about careers beyond once you finish your doctorate. And if you need that support, you need the infrastructure to get your writing done and the help and the process, make sure you tap in with us. You can scan the QR code that is here on your screen, or you can go to www.velocitydissertation.com. And again, I want to say thank you so much for watching this episode of From ABD to PhD Show. My name is Dr. Ramon Goings, and until next time, I wish you a done dissertation. Take care.